All right, so for a twofer for today, don't forget hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. We are going over our second practice test. Now this is for the group test tomorrow. There is less of the concept stuff, okay? So you actually have to know more stuff. All right. Lovely. Now, this tells us our signs are the same. This tells us that they are both negative. Okay? What two numbers, when we multiply them, we get 36, but when we combine them, we get 12. Yep. Bam. Okay? Number two, this sign tells us that our signs are different. This tells us our bigger number is negative. Okay? Now, what two numbers, when you multiply them, you get negative 24, but when you combine them, you get negative 5? That's a good question. All right, so let's think of 24. So we get 24, 1, 12, and 2. All right, 6 and 4, 8 and 3. Aha. There we go. Some of you are like, ooh, I don't like this one. Some of y'all like group test sounds really good, and then you started working on this one with the people around you. They're like, I don't think I want you on my group. I want to kick you off my island. I want to do it by myself. All right. So that's part one. Now, for part one for this practice test for this orange sheet, it actually goes for both of them. Um, so all I did was put the notes. Let's see, I got to move myself again. I just put the notes from when we started factoring last week. This was last Tuesday. Okay. Um, so that's what I put on my orange sheet. That's me yawning, and we're moving on. All right. Part two. Now, part two, you would actually have to state the method that you're going to use. Okay. Show your work and give your solution. Okay. Now, remember you had 3 different methods, actually 4, but we're not going to talk about completing the square because we know the people that made that one had to be doing some type of drugs. Okay. Remember that's the one I showed y'all, and everybody's like, oh, what the crap? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we can't actually do this one just yet. We would actually have to subtract 24 first. Okay. And then we could get, you know, now, somebody give me a method that you used for number 3. Awesome. I heard someone say factoring. All right. This tells us our signs are different. This tells us our bigger number is positive. All right. The problem we had beforehand actually can kind of help us. It would actually, these factors would be positive 12 and negative 2. Now, remember, our answer for this is exactly the opposite of these signs. So x equals negative 12 and positive 2. Okay. Now, if you would have done quadratic formula, you should have got the same answer. You would have got something that was a perfect square. You would have had to broke it down, so forth and so on. All right. So that was number 3. All right, number 4. This one you should already know what type of method you have to use. Okay? The reason why we did not go over factoring when that number is greater than 1. Okay? This would be, oh, biscuits, the quadratic formula. Okay, I did show y'all that very Caucasian video and stuff the other day, right? Okay, good. Do we need to see it again? Okay. Does that like haunt your nightmares now? I see you. The sign is 2 feet by 3 feet. Kind of hard to miss you. All right. So A is 11. B is 7. C is -3. All right. Equals negative plus or minus squared minus 4. All right. So even when I do this myself, I actually put that stuff on here like I would normally do it, or like y'all had it on your stuff. So 7 and 7 and -3. All right. Now remember, I would start here. Okay. That's called my discriminant. Okay. So 7 squared minus 4 times 11 times -3. Second square root, second answer. All right. So I got this 181. I took the square root of 181, and it's just 181. All right. So this down here is, did it again, 22 over, this is -7, plus or minus the square root, 181. Now, remember, for our friends out there that love to use digital help on these problems, your digital help will put it in a different format. I will count it wrong. Okay? I will count it wrong. All right, number 5. Ooh. This is in vertex form. And I hope this one works out because I didn't really check it today when I made it. Equals 15. And then we got to divide by 3. Divide by 3. So this is x plus 6 squared equals 5. All right. Now, remember, how do we undo a square? That's right. Square root it. So we have x plus 6 equals plus or minus the square root of 5. And then we're going to subtract 6. So our final answer okay, is that right there. By the way, I don't know if y'all figured it out. If you do the group test, you will have a vertex form on here. If you do the individual test, you will not have a vertex form on there. I'm doing an experiment to see a psychological and confidence experiment tomorrow, and I can't wait to see the results. I think it's going to be great. All right. Who did number 6? Wow. All right. Believe it or not, you can actually solve number 6 by factoring. Okay. I know some of you are like, how? Okay. If you look at 65, what do we know we can divide 65 by? Awesome. Yes, 5. Okay. This tells us our signs are different. This tells us our bigger number is positive. If you divide 65 divided by 5, you get 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. So our answer would be negative 13, positive 5. Now, if you did quadratic formula, you would have got the same answer. Okay? I put that one on there because, see, I gave you a big C value. See how many people would actually use quadratic formula. See how many people would actually try to brain it out and, factor. So a lot of people didn't brain it out. The math was not mathing this morning. I think the only math that is mathing is y'all counting down to 327 on Friday, or 328, whatever. Whenever. I don't know why we get out of start and end school at weird times. Have you ever told people, like, well, when does your school start? 8:12. They look at you funny, like other people's like 7:55, 8 o'clock, 8. Or to be like a random number, like 8:07. When did they start? And this is high school or college? High school. All right. Remember, this is where a lot of people can get some bonus points. Believe it or not, it's just me. I think it's kind of easy to get some of these bonus points. And people are like, yeah, it's just you. All right. So I'm going to do this first one with substitution. All right. I'm going to set them both equal to each other. And remember, you can do both of them at the same time or not. Now, as far as the test tomorrow, everything that is done right now in red and black is it. That is the only requirement for the test tomorrow. Everything I'm about to do in blue is bonus points. And the only reason I'm writing the factored form up here is so I can actually, understand it. I wonder, let's see, this tells us our signs are the same. This tells us they're both the negative. What are the factors of 7 that add up to 8? 1, 7. So 3 times 1 plus 2, 3 times 7 plus 2. Well, 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2. This is 5. So we have 1, 5. And 3 times 7 is 21 plus 2 is 23. So remember, red and black, mandatory. All in blue, bonus. That's 2, 4, 6, 10 bonus points that I think is quite easy. Hopefully you think it's quite easy also. Some of y'all are like, no, not really. All right, are we go number 7? Maybe kind of sort of not. All right, did anybody get to number 8? 1, 2 people. How many got confused at number 8 at first until you started doing it? Okay. We do this one by elimination. Multiplying everything by -1. I'm going to line it up. Now, I'm leaving a big space because there's not an x term right here. Zero equals x squared minus 6x plus 9. All right, or, I had somebody said, does it matter if the zero's on this side or that side? It doesn't. All right. Again, left-hand side, green and black. All right, so this actually only has one answer, so you don't have to do this. So, 3, let's see, nope, 6 times 3, I was plugging it in the wrong thing. 18. 318. Nah. Cause sorry, I just think that's funny because it says NA for not applicable, not applicable. Sounds like na. Any Cartman fans? No? Okay, I'm by myself. One person? All right, thank you. Okay. All right, and that's it. Don't forget hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Uh, Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.